Kelly, how are you? Charlie tried to sneak in here at 7 o'clock to be first. Yeah, so tell me more about that. Tell me more about that railroad detonator. Um, I saw a guy from Carolina Magnet Fishing. What's going on, Jason? And he had got one. Um, those people actually took it and they let him go to they let him go and to where they were detonating it. So I thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, starting this thing a little early. I don't know. I'm actually hoping that my little guest here is gonna pop in. Hasn't seen my messages yet. Real good though. Um, we're here as usual. Is everybody hearing me good? Yeah, they didn't even know who to call, huh? Oh, I'm quiet. Okay, I'm gonna let me try something different then. Let's see. Hang on one moment. I don't know why I'm having so many issues with all this stuff lately, but I'm gonna go in and edit here and see input device. Oh, you know why? Because I chose the wrong thing. Let's see if that changes anything at all. Does that change any sound at all? 100 subs is amazing. David Wiley, what's going on, dude? Um, awesome. So our guest did just message. Looks like he's getting stuck at work, but he will pop in when he gets a chance a little later on. Stephen Taylor, how are you, buddy? Um, does this time, does this sound any better? Is this a little louder? Yeah, they always end up calling the state guys anyway, so why not? Might as well just call them right out of the gate at this point. Every time I call one of the local guys, they always call Stadies. What's going on, Josh? Um, yeah, they always end up calling Stadies because most of the rivers fall under the state anyways. Most of them do. Um, yeah, but if you haven't seen it, Stephen, we actually just put up a video and it was the bridge that where I met Josh and I had already met Josh, but met Brockton and Buddy Biggs. Yeah, I was shocked at our first pull. Found that nice little gun, and I identified it as a Walther PPK. What is going on, Nick? What up, Jody? Um, 10 years YouTube workshop. Cheers. Awesome art, man. I appreciate that. Um, I will make sure um, to get you on the flip side of this. Um, yeah, guys, you've heard me talk about the YouTube workshops and stuff like that that we've been doing, and I hope to maybe eventually share some stuff with everybody. They're kind of a little bit on the DL with a lot of it. Hello, Luis. Hola, my friend. But um, I'm hoping to kind of just pull pieces and just give everybody tips on what we learned there, because as Art knows, we learn a ton. We're learning now about um, ways to do shorts and stuff like that using green screens and a new feature that they have that's tied into it that's going to have some AI attached, and it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I was in a shorts one before, or not shorts. I was in the vertical live boot camp and learned a ton about vertical lives um, and engagement. I mean, I guess that's the biggest point besides making good content is engagement. Aqua Donkey, what is happening, my man? Appreciate you popping by. But yeah, guys. So this past week, that's what we did. Went up there, and then on this past Wednesday, I was supposed to have jury duty, and it got canceled that morning. And we were in the middle of a big, huge windstorm, and you all know me. I'm not right in the head. Um, what are the things to stay away from when buying one? There are actually two main magnet companies that sell on Amazon that are like actual magnet companies are. Um, and I would try to go that way. There's a company called Brute and a company called Kratos. But if you order anywhere off of Amazon, if you decide to go for something different or whatever, the ones that we use specifically are called battle magnets. And if you go to our website, CapeCodMagnetCrew.com, there's some discount codes on there that'll save you a few bucks. But yeah, jury duty. So I went to a place in Katuitt, and it was windy. And guys, I nearly had to tie myself to the pier. That's how windy it was. Um, I don't know, man. Yeah, wouldn't necessarily say stay away from the. Yeah, that's exactly it. Stay away from whatever they are. If you can't pronounce the name of the magnet, don't get it. I mean, root, eat something. What are you talking about? Eat something. Eat something. Yeah, Kelly. It's funny you say that because I am 51 years old and I have the metabolism of a 15-year-old. I just ate a whole bunch of. I made shepherd's pie for dinner and ate like two bowls of it, and my metabolism burns it right off because I'm super active in my job. Then I magnet fish. Um, yeah, I even had to tie the bucket to my leg so that way it wouldn't blow off. Yeah, no bueno whatsoever. But it was a good spot. I can't wait to actually go back there when it's nice out. I'd never even seen this boat launch, and as Nick knows, because um, Nick loves to hit the boat launches too. That's where everybody's dropping stuff. They're getting in and out of their boats. Um, those are what some of my favorite spots. It won't last long, Nick. I'm telling you. That's one of the few things that goes really, really quick here. It's one of my favorite things to make. It's probably got a lot to do with the fact that I'm Irish. I make a lot of shepherd's pie. What's my protein? Pea protein, because in this particular one, I used a company called Light Life. Not my favorite, but it was what I could get, and I didn't want to buy it I didn't want to buy frozen this time. But used some of that, some mushroom gravy, then added a whole bunch of stuff to it. It's not really a great big mess recipe there, Art Man. It's pretty simple. I use grounds because I do eat plant-based foods for my health and cholesterol and stuff like that. But everything else is pretty fresh. I use fresh potatoes, mash them all up. The key when I'm making my mash, though, is to use a plant-based sour cream when I'm mixing it all up. That's what makes it a little different. I love the flavor that adds to it. Kind of gives the potato a little sharpness. But tonight's didn't turn out as good as usual. I kind of hacked it. I was rushed. But yeah, that's what we got going on there. Monday, I might try to get out tomato soup. Hmm. Everybody here loves tomato soup, so that I'd love to try that, dude. Does she literally just like throw like a can in instead of whatever sauce or gravy that you're using? Is that what she does? Creamed corn. Man, you guys are opening up new ways to do things here. Shepherd's pie is a big go-to here, especially when it's freezing cold like it is outside. But yeah, not much going on. I think I said I was going to Somehow baked in the bottom. Yeah, I remember you saying that, Josh. It really is art, man. It's comforting. It's easy to whip together. I mean, minus boiling the mashed potatoes is really like minimal effort. Um, but anyways, yeah. So I was talking about Monday. One of these days, I really want to get out to Western Mass or like middle central Mass, whatever. I was thinking of going to Worcester, but minus living there and being on Lake Quinsigamond, which is kind of right between Worcester itself and Shrewsbury. And there's a huge long bridge there. It's where a lot of the colleges do their rowing or crew, whatever that sport is. Um, I remember watching all these thin boats just flying by there all the time when they were practicing. And there's usually tons of traffic and stuff too. So I think that's probably one of the better bridges, but I'm gonna give that to Roger to determine if he thinks that's gonna be a good spot or not. Yeah, different sides of the country. You know, we get those commercials here too, dude. We don't Southbridge. I'm down, dude. I know your schedule is kind of different than mine, dude, but I would go to Southbridge. Worcester, Lake Quinsigamond, the spot that I was talking about, is heavily traversed because right over the bridge itself is, you've got a college on one side, and then on the other side of the bridge, you've got lots of grocery stores and strip malls. So there's a ton and ton of traffic. I remember when I was living up there and we would try to shop. If you if you were out at night, what should have taken 5 minutes took you 20. So I think it'll be a good hot spot. And Worcester can be shady depending on what part of the city you're in. Can I get Roberta Bolt once you found some stuff? Let's call it rowing. That's what it is, rowing. I think I might have got concussed today. My brain's not working good. I smashed. I fell off something in some lady's basement, smashed my chin, and my brain hasn't been with it since. So don't mind me. Well, with all the rowing traffic, the foot traffic, um, I think that'd be a good spot. I'm trying to find something downtown Worcester, but there's not much water down there. And a lot of that is fresh water, so I know it's frozen at this point. And Worcester, when we lived there, probably had the most snow I'd ever seen in a spot. That is a good question. um, Rescues, a lot of us carry come-alongs in the car, and we'll try to use those. Um, but you need a Josh, which is 508 magnets. If you get a Josh, you can save a magnet. But everybody in here, or most people in here, have seen me lose a magnet at one point in time. Josh has seen me lose one, and it stinks because they're really expensive. So you just got to be really cognizant. Some of my rookie mistakes were not looking at the rope before I threw it off, and there was just way too much. There wasn't enough slack. So as you would throw it, the all that rope would just bundle right up, and the magnet would swing and stick right underneath the bridge. 603 here, Jason. He's seen me lose one. Josh has rescued multiple magnets for me. Buddy Biggs is another friend of ours that's usually coming in here. He came a couple weeks ago. I was up in in Taunton, Mass. And I don't know if it got stuck under a rock or something super heavy, but it got to the point where we had tried to come along. Thank you, Kelly. Greatly appreciate you joining. And that reminds me, yeah, Charlie's watched me lose a bunch of them. If you go through a lot of our back catalog, I have a very, very bad habit of losing magnets. Um, I think out of everybody I've watched, yes, ridiculous stuff happens to everybody. But thank you. But it seems to happen to me the most. So with that, guys, I'm going to try to figure out how to do this because um I'm using StreamYard for the live. Um, ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, when I fell, I also gouged, took a big chunk out of my skin today too. Not that that's anywhere near close to really what you're dealing with, but all right. So we're going to do this here too. I am going to see if I can't gift. This is totally random, guys. I don't get to pick who's who. Um, who are they playing tonight? Pacers tonight? Three times. Okay, see? There you go, Art man. I mean, the best advice is just be cognizant of your surroundings and you won't get it stuck on a bridge. Oh yeah, 76ers. I saw it comes up on my TV. It reminds me every time there's a game. But me and my son were in the middle of watching. Uh, we just started Better Call Saul. Let's see. Let's see. Membership gifting. Oh, it doesn't let me do it through the live like this because it's coming through StreamYard. I think I can only do it through premieres. So I'll do another five on next week's premiere. Um, Me and Josh were just talking about how memberships and stuff like that work because I'm trying to figure out how to best do it. Let me ask you, Artman, do you do a lot with memberships for your channel? And those of you that do them, what type of stuff are you offering? I try to do like behind the scenes stuff, um, which basically is just like unedited video from some of the videos. And some stuff never even makes it into the final cut. So there might be some tiny finds that just aren't worth making it into a full video. Well, there you go. That should be enough too. I mean, I definitely appreciate everybody. Can't talk about it enough. Yeah, uploads are good too. And I try to figure out a way. So I try to premiere all my videos each week, but I want to find a way, and I don't know if YouTube allows this or not, that you can set it to members only and then do a premiere. I've never been able to figure out that option. Um, but that's one thing I'd love to figure out. Tomcat, what's happening, dude? Appreciate you popping by. There's a bunch of different things I would love to do. We've only been doing this, God, it didn't work, huh? That stinks. That's probably how I'll have to end up doing it, Grandma Kelly. Um, but I did see that option. Yeah, I have to. I think that's what I'll probably do is maybe for you see like the two tiers, but maybe with the minnows, the sharks level, even for members, Josh. Oh, because that would be no bueno. I like doing the premieres so we can chat with people, and it also ties into this live each week. Hmm. Maybe I can figure out a way. Um, to not only just supporting with a membership, Art Man, I've been a part of this little Magnifishing Treasure Fam community now for a little bit, and it still blows my mind that people even are interested in watching my dumb face on YouTube or the silly antics that we get up to. So I completely understand that. I just don't get it. But there was something that someone told me at the beginning of all this stuff, dude, and that was, and I use it to tell new YouTubers also, is there is an audience for everybody. There's people out there in the world that are just waiting for your content. So if you don't give it a shot, you're never going to know whether or not um, they're out there. You know what I mean? So it's 100% worth it for everybody to at least try it, you know, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. It doesn't have to be. Um, I've come to really enjoy it though. I love being part of this community. And as you see, there's a ton of great people in here. We've not only got magna fishers in here, but you've got guys who are in the gold prospecting scene. There are metal detector people. I mean, all this stuff does tie together, and that's why everybody kind of calls it this treasure fam, and it's pretty amazing. That's exactly it, Grandma. 110%. Yeah, Jason. That's what I've been telling you since day one. There's always a community for everybody. Not community, audience. You know what I mean? One of these days I do have to, Aqua. I've been sitting on a bag of dirt, not literally, sitting on a bag of GP's dirt for probably since Christmas. Um, I really got to pan it. I appreciate that, Art Man. I'm definitely, at the moment tied up here, but I'd love to check out your stuff too and see what it is that you're doing. I watch everything on YouTube. I just the, um, I love the creativity. I've been involved now as far as my job goes. I'm a cable guy, and there was so much there was so little creativity in my job. And before being a cable guy, I was a graphic designer. So for 16 years, um, I had no creative outlet whatsoever. And then my kids and we had started watching magnet fishing videos, and we're like, you know what, let's give this thing a try. And me and my son went out and bought a cheap, like ferrite magnet. Totally didn't do anything the right way at the beginning. But that day we went home and ordered a couple magnets, and we love it. And we've been doing it since. But my point is that the creativity, making thumbnails, writing, um, all of it. I mean, even trying to figure out lighting for all this stuff. I mean, this isn't ideal completely. This thing will change eventually. But I love the creativity, and I feel like I can finally express a lot of stuff that I've stuck in. Mark, what's up, dude? Appreciate you popping in there, my man. Um, yeah, so that's why I love doing YouTube. And everything else has kind of fallen into place. And I'm super grateful that people even want to pay attention to us because we enjoy it all. To be honest, I question doing these lives each week because sometimes I'll pop in there. There's only a few of us chatting. I'm really, really grateful for the fact that we're at 13 right now. Um, but whether there's three or four or 13 people, I love chatting with everybody. Um, yeah, that's why I've really tried to pivot and make YouTube something um, bigger. By the way, I'm watching the Storm guys. You know, who I watch the just filler type videos is the guys that like to clean up old properties. Those guys with their mowers and they'll like pressure wash everything. I think those dudes are amazing to go do that for their community. Not only helps spruce everything up, but gives them content and people like watching them. Oh my God, one found the body. Which one? Clean and drains? They are super cool, man. There are a bunch of people out there that just do so many different creative things. You know, I'm in one of the most, yeah, see, and it's probably fun, Charlie. I'm sure everybody's been on Reddit and you all know just how absolutely toxic it is. I see so many people crapping on YouTube, and I get it. They're a huge, giant corporation. I work for one. Okay. So I get it. But at the same time, like, we wouldn't be exposed to half of the content creators that we see nowadays if it weren't for something like YouTube. Yes, you've got social media, you've got TikTok and stuff like that, but I'm talking long form videos. You know, Magnificent's a little bit different, whereas, it's just, it's not scripted. It is what it is. I get the censorship stuff, Kelly. Um, but at the same time, you know, I self censor myself because I want to try to be um, watched by everybody. I know that my kids came to me about magnet fishing, so I know they found it first. So I try my best, and tonight's little slip up, I got to figure out 100%. That's really amazing, Charlie. Glad to hear that. Absolutely. And anytime I have a question, dude, Bart, here's one of the really cool things about YouTube too, is I'm not a fixer. Like I told you, I came from a graphic design background before becoming a cable guy. And I was living at this one condo and I had a dryer that just made this awful, awful noise. And I went right to YouTube, figured out what the problem was, and fixed it. I fixed a dryer and I have no idea how I even did it. But if it weren't for YouTube, I wouldn't have done that. I've replaced a starter in a vehicle. Again, I'm not a mechanic. There are so many different things that I've learned how to do because of YouTube. So I get it with the censorship stuff, but I also understand that maybe not completely, but I understand to an extent why they do what they do. Um, I try not to get into political stuff, so that way I don't play around with any of that, and there's no gray area for me on politics. I don't do it here. I don't talk um, religion here. I mean, maybe a tiny little bit about like spirituality and stuff, but I don't. Yeah, I just fixed my daughter's taillights in the car. It would have cost 197, but a little solder and 2 wires. It was fixed. See, and that's something I would learn. I'd love to actually learn how to do is soldering. Um, I just saw that pop up there. By the way, Josh, I'll have to check out that video in a little bit. Like watching rock hounding, gold RC metal detecting. Absolutely, Tomcat. And there are so many people out there. God, I mean, I will watch the most mind-numbing videos, but as long as the person is energetic and like you said, it's just positive and they're bringing really good vibes, I'll watch those people all day long. One of the other things I love watching too is guys that build like they build things out in the middle of nowhere, like little homes or um I might actually even attempt after I watched a video this past week to build an underground uh greenhouse this year. Since both of my dogs are unfortunately gone, the space that their kennel used to be in would be great for it. And these guys didn't dig down like super, super deep. They were only um, maybe like six. That's awesome. Maybe 6 feet down, but you can use it year round. And that would be absolutely amazing. And I learned that from YouTube too. My mom ran a club called New England Treasure Finders when I was a kid. That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, here in Massachusetts, it's hard. Um, yeah, I don't even know what Rumble is, Grandma Kelly. I gotta live on the grid out here, man. I'm too plugged in. But I would love to, considering everything, I'd like to grow a lot of my own food. At that point, I'll know what's in it. And heck, we could even get into like maybe create a cold cellar or something. I do have the dog kennel. It's actually gigantic. I can break it's two kennels put together, but I can maybe break it apart. I don't know how you would get anywhere with it, Josh. When I bought it, I had just bought this house and I actually paid the guy who did my landscaping. I paid him a pretty penny and he delivered it for me. Roger, what's happening, dude? We were just talking about you a little while ago. Um, because I'd love to get out into your area and do some magnet fishing. Do you, Kelly? My phobia is spiders. So I deal with a lot of those being in people's basements and no bueno. I'm not a spider guy at all. Absolutely despise them. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna message my bud here and just let him know that it's all good. And may end up doing it next week because we're only got about 40 more minutes. We'll see what happens actually. It's all good. Do you? I think I'm gonna try to do a lot more farmers markets this year. Um, I mean, inflation affects everybody, I guess, but at least at a farmers market, you know the people that you're buying from, and you all know, Carolina, my fiance is, originally from Colombia, and she talks about it all the time. The flavor of food here um, is so much different. Uh, she says that our vegetables don't taste like much at all, but down there they're so fresh, crisp, and you can actually taste them. Okay, that's good to know. That was why I was actually reaching out to Buddy to get your number, Roger, was because I was actually thinking of coming up there for that reason. So I'm glad I didn't go into it blind and just decide to drive up. That area is cold, dude. I remember. I've never seen the amount of snow that I saw when we were in Worcester for one winter. We easily had gosh, 2, 3 feet of snow in one winter, and it was constant digging. And I don't know if you know much, but I lived off Plantation Street, off a really big hill. And there was one time, excuse me, I brought my work van home. Oh, didn't see you sneak in here. What is going on, Loretta? How are you? But I ended up leaving my work van at a hotel down the street because no matter how much I tried to get up the road leading to my house, it was um so snowy, icy, to the point that I almost like slid down this hill and ended up in the middle of traffic. Worcester's not for the weak, although Alaska beats it every single day of the week. Um, let's see, anything new coming up? It is extremely hilly. Like I said, I was right off Plantation Street, ironically off a road called Wigwam Hill Road, and there were only two ways to get up there. One was the backside, and it was this very long, gradual hill, and that's usually the better bet because you can just gun it and get up that hill. And the other one is kind of like this corkscrew. And I was in my work van and I went up the corkscrew after trying the back hill and I got stuck halfway up. And I called our towing company. I called a supervisor. Literally, no one could help me. So I basically threw my hands up in the air, slowly crept down the hill, dropped it at the hotel, called my boss and said, if it's not there in the morning, someone's going to come pick me up because I'm not playing games. And luckily for me, it was still there because everybody else had the same idea. They parked their cars at the hotel and walked home. Yeah, no thank you to Worcester. I couldn't do another winter there. I don't even like winters here anymore. I put on a good show with the ice magnet fishing, which I actually do enjoy. But as far as like living in this cold weather, I'm good. I'm good, bro. I watch guys like Nick and Magnet Junkie and Mark and Travis, and those guys are always out magnet fishing in shorts, and I really miss doing that. Um, so who knows? Maybe eventually we'll get warm and move somewhere warmer. Carolina, all her family's from Florida. My mom just decided that she's going to go back to Florida. Um, and then there are all the guys down there to connect with. There's also my uncle, which I just started talking to about a year and a half ago. So I think the natural um, evolution is to possibly move down there. Just messaging. Sorry, guys. Group connection. I'd love to get into ice climbing. Beardo, what's happening, dude? Our special guest got stuck at work, and that's all good. Um, if they can't come in tonight, that's fine. Didn't mean to kind of blow up everybody and get everybody to excited about it, but we will pivot if you can't make it in. Shane's coming up in about a half an hour, and I don't try to step on his toes at all. But yeah, it looks like everybody all winter long has been going. You got not only myself doing ice magnet fishing, you got Josh doing ice magnet fishing, you got Talia's there, but yeah, there you go. She just got back from the mall with her mom
And the friends.
and your friends. Yeah, it's school vacation over here. What?
Crazy.
Crazy? So it said,
Legal. Crazy.
what, T snuck in? Where did T sneak in? Oh, Talia, there we go. Yeah. Everybody's saying hi, Talia. See? Hi, hi, hi. Everybody's saying hi.
Me and my mom type of negative. She was like, "What song?" I was like, we're gonna want to play this one type of negative song.
Okay. I like typo negative. Ironically, they okay, cool. We actually are getting dude's gonna pop up here for the last half hour and do some chit chatting.
Yes.
They may do a couple of tribute shows.
So it's like somewhat related, but anything about the trivia shows.
Yeah.
So
We can't replace that singer. There's no one in history of music that can sound like Peter Steele from Typo Negative.
so I think it's like some like saying like yeah, Joe, I'm like just like covering it all.
Right.
You know, everyone comments like captures it close to the but I get it.
She's good. She'll paint them, Jason, as soon as I actually have some ambition to clean them up. I have things to paint on. I found all these little metal bars and stuff. Oop, there we go.
I mean,
We good to go, man? All right, cool.
Yo,
What is going on, Jason?
not a lot. Can you hear me?
Oop.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I got you now. There we go.
Okay.
I was having some issues with audio earlier too, man.
Oh, I wasn't able to get my camera and everything, so I'm just using the crappy. Hello.
It's all good. My
Yeah,
stepdaughter,
man.
Talia. How are you?
You said Talia?
Talia, yes.
That's a very beautiful name.
She's a beautiful girl with a beautiful mom. It's my stepdaughter, Talia, and her mother, Carolina, but she's behind the screen.
I can't hear anything.
So you got stuck at work, huh?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Got anybody in here?
What did? Oh yeah. Oh, can you not see stuff?
Oh, there it
We
is.
got Josh is hanging out. There's a few people in here. I might have tried to hype up the fact that I didn't go blowing up your spot that you were going to come and say hi, but might have said that a special guest was coming in, so we have a few people that are hanging out.
You know, the only people that have ever
But
described me as special was not in a nice way.
oh, it's all good, man. You know, there's a lot of channels that are smaller like myself that have been watching guys like you for a long time. So, um,
I don't know why.
what? Wait, what? Is this the guy? What do you mean the guy? Yeah, this. I was talking earlier that you might be able to come up. So yeah.
The guy's name is
But no, I
Jason.
wanted to bring Jason. Yes. Is that what someone said? Oh no, she's actually really horrible with names. Even though she meets people, she never remembers who they are.
If I remember your name,
Especially magnet fishers, I can't like YouTuber names. I can't remember those. I always see their like actual name whenever I'm reading chat, so I can't call them by their real name. Like
hello everyone.
you.
Sorry, I haven't figured out how to chat yet.
No, it's all good, dude. So no, I wanted to bring you on because you look like you're even crazier than what Josh and I have been doing out here with the winter magnet fishing. Yeah, you've been doing that for many, many winters now.
I mean, every winter since I started.
Okay.
I
Wow.
don't know how many years
Okay.
it's been. I don't know, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4.5.
Wow. That's awesome, man. It's I'm not a big cold guy, but I actually absolutely love ice magnet fishing. It's people think you're an absolute lunatic doing it, and especially all these guys down in Florida who could never hang for more than probably 5 minutes with any of us up here.
So you actually enjoy getting dressed up in 15 layers, going out, wind chill below zero, rope constantly freezing. You can't pull anything up because your rope is slippery and slips through your hands. Yeah, you're nuts.
Oddly enough, yes, I do. I hate the cold, because I'm a cable guy and I have to work in it all day long. But I don't know. I don't mind ice magnet fishing. Oh,
I
there's
know
the contraption.
that's what you wanted to see.
That is what I wanted to see because I'm gonna put you on solo with that.
So this is going to be getting a huge update before this weekend to go out. I've been using a Hero 9 in it
Okay.
just because I'm afraid to lose one of my 11s. So I went ahead and bought a 12. This is going to be a new out of the water camera, and I'm going to convert one of the 11s to an underwater camera. I also got filters, so the color should be a lot better from now on.
That's awesome, man. That's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I don't have access to multiple GoPros, but I've got this old crappy Akaso camera that I used when we first started.
That looks exactly like the first underwater camera I ever had. That looks exactly like it. It was also my first chest camera. Was a cheap Akaso. I think it was like $30 brand new. And then when
That's basically what this was.
I upgraded to the $60 camera. The $30 camera became my underwater camera, but be really careful. I know you get the waterproof housing for it. My Akaso got flooded because fishing line got caught between the latch and popped the housing open. Flooded the Akaso. The SD card was still good, but
I've got that. This is that one that it comes with.
Yep. So,
and I'm willing to sacrifice this one camera if all goes wrong.
Just do yourself a favor and just take a zip tie and just put it all the way around it so that fishing line won't get underneath that latch.
That's a good tip. What's up?
What was that weird contraption?
That was his contraption of how I'll show you one of their videos later. He actually films underwater, like when he's dragging the magnet and stuff like that, so you can see what grabs onto it and stuff. Yeah, actually, you might have seen me watching it the other day.
This is the culmination of a month's worth of footage and trying to make commenters happy because everybody got sick of the camera just constantly spinning around with the rope. So I had to come up with a way to make the camera independent so it would sit straight up. I had to upgrade to the aluminum mount because the plastic bicycle mounts are just way too flimsy. I'm gonna probably upgrade from up to an aluminum mount for the float too, because as it is, the float's literally just electrical taped to the piece of PVC pipe. But it's got to be able to spin on its own and not travel all the way up the rope.
There you go. That's what he's saying. You need to patent that mount, man.
Oh, Cal from Venture to Low is already stealing some of my ideas and having one 3D printed. So it's actually a tube with all the mounts for the GoPro and everything directly to attach directly to it. If I had access to a machine shop, I would try to make one out of aluminum.
Oh, Josh has a 3D printer.
Josh, that's the biggest problem I have with the Hero 9. I have 3 batteries for it, but each battery literally lasts like 15 minutes in the cold. The new GoPros, the 10, 11, 12, and 13, they have cold weather batteries that you get with them whenever you buy them, and they'll last a lot longer. And that's the main reason why I needed to upgrade the underwater camera, was so I could have the battery that lasts longer.
Makes sense, because I had to get my 9 replaced, and they don't make the 9 anymore. So GoPro was like, "Oh, we'll give you a 10 instead," but they were like, "We're out of stock of that," so they gave me an 11.
Oh, okay.
My battery lasts a hell of a lot longer now.
Yeah, those white batteries, they're extreme weather batteries. They're designed for cold. I used to fish with somebody, and it would upset me. I couldn't figure out why my GoPro battery. I had to keep my GoPro inside my coat until I was ready to film. But theirs was just out in the cold air, lasting for hours. Mine would last 3 minutes outside of my coat, and it's just all the battery.
Wow. Yeah, it even looks better than the 9. Um, I don't know if maybe my settings were just junk on the 9, but my videos even look better.
So I don't have a 9, but yeah, the video quality between the 8 and the 11 is way better. I know the 11s, the 12s, the 13s, they have a lot better white balance, like automatic white balance and some other things that are actually programmed into the video. I mean, honestly, if you go back on my channel and you look at the first, I don't know, 15, 20 videos I did,
Yeah.
they look like crap. I mean, the video quality is absolute garbage. But back then, I thought, hey, that looks good. Let's roll with that. This is a great camera and everything. And then I ended up getting my first GoPro because my little brother found it laying on the ground in a parking lot. It had fallen off a motorcycle. So he sold it to me for $20, and the video quality was, night and day difference. But that was an original Hero. Didn't even have a number on it. So then that became my underwater camera for about 3 trips until I threw it out and it hit a chunk of ice floating down the river and snapped the camera off the rope. Never saw that one again.
Many, many years ago, I wasn't even like doing anything on YouTube or recording anything, but I did buy a Hero 2 just to go messing around in like the pool with my kids and stuff like that. So that way when they could jump in, I'd be down underneath and watching them splash in. And to us, that was super cool. But they've definitely come a long way. I mean, you couldn't see a screen on the front, it wasn't even a color screen at all. It was almost like, I don't even actually think I could see anything on it.
I think the one that I had, I don't think the one I had a screen at all. The one that my brother gave me. But yeah, no, we did the exact same thing. I took that one down to Florida with us, and we were out at Clearwater Beach, and I'm underwater with it trying to film stuff. Got back, looked at the footage, and it was all just brown water. you couldn't see anything in it.
Right. That one was good. I still watch some of the videos because, Facebook always reminds you of things from decades ago that you posted. And I'll see some of these videos, and I'm shocked at how decent it still looks. But it's night and day to this 11. Even going from a 9 to an 11 was night and day. And I've looked at our videos from 6 months ago using that 9, and now it looks much better.
See, that's really weird because I feel like that the 8 still had really good video quality. Not as good, definitely not as good image stabilization. The image stabilization on the 11, hands down, way better than the 8. But I still feel like the video quality on the 8 was great. I mean, the 8's what I've been using underwater lately.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that the 11 will be a good improvement.
I think a lot of it has to do with my editing too. Is I don't think I was saving it in a high enough file, and I wasn't producing it high enough, so nothing was adding up. You know what I mean? I might have recorded in like 720 trying to get 1080 out of it, and the laptops and the devices that we're using, they couldn't handle that type of power to convert all that.
I think I have all my cameras set to record in 1080, but we upload in 4K, don't we? Yeah, we upload in 4K.
Okay.
I would record in 4K, but it just like I'd have to buy huge memory cards. I was using hold on, I got it right here. Yep, one of these. These things are awesome. If you're using multiple memory cards. So yeah, I was using 128s, but because the GoPro, I mean, you record like 5.5 hours of video on 128. So I actually, just to save some money, switched to 64, or a third as much for the 64 gigs.
Right.
Now, how are you backing up your video?
I have a somewhere around here. I've got a 5 terabyte Seagate
Ooh.
that I put everything in just because, again, coming from a graphic design background, I have hard drives, and I try to keep everything because who knows when I'm going to use it again or if I want to reprocess it into something else.
That's a nice hard drive. That's got to be a couple $100 for a 5 terabyte.
I think I got it on sale. It was like a Black Friday deal for like 110. It wasn't bad.
We got two
But
2 terabyte
it fills up
hard
quickly.
drives. We filled one 2 terabyte hard drive, so we bought another one, and that one, the first one has got all of our videos from the beginning until the end of last year. The new one is basically starting at the beginning of 2025. There's a few videos from last year on it, but
Right. Now are you finding the newer ones filling up quicker because you're filming in a higher resolution?
not really, because we've been filming in the higher resolution for a few years. It was the really bad resolution when we first started.
Right. Now, dude, I gotta say, one of the cool things that I watch with you guys doing, not only pulling up all those crazy explosives, but the fact that you've invited the bomb squad to magnet fish with you.
So okay, that that's actually kind of a comical story. Um, what up, Shane?
That thing, Shane?
So we were down in this little backwater tiny town in Ohio.
Right.
A local had said that an area had been a bomb range at one point in time. So we went and checked it out. I pulled out one 60 millimeter mortar, pulled out some bullets. It was a dump ground, is what it was. It was never a range. So we called the local police. He came out, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "Oh, be careful if you go do it on this bridge because there's been a lot of stuff found in that area." Well, saying that to a magnet fisher is like saying this is exactly where you want to go. So we had the 60 millimeter mortar. He's getting ready to shut down the road, and then he asked us to put it in the back of our truck and drive it around the corner so it can be in an unpopulated area. So this is a police officer asking us to transport this unexploded ordnance. So we do, and we get over there, and now we're itching to get to this other bridge that he's talking about. We really want to go there. Bomb squad's coming, so we're like, you know what? We're gonna head over to the other bridge. You got this. You can take care of it. We get over to the other bridge. First throw, pull in an 81 millimeter mortar. Third throw, pull in a 60 millimeter mortar. We know the bomb squad's in the area already, and so we called it in. They come out. We actually knew the bomb squad technician. We'd met him before in another area. But this police officer, he's a sheriff. We actually nicknamed him Barney Fife because he is just whatever. But he's the police chief in the area because they have 3 police officers.
Yeah.
He starts freaking out. He's telling us that they're going to close down the bridge. Nobody's going to be able to walk on the bridge. Magnet fishing is not going to be able to be done there anymore. And we're like, okay, cool. So I get home, and the next day I email the Northwest Ohio Bomb Squad, one of the guys in charge that we've met a couple of times. And I said, hey, we found this area. We've identified that there's potentially quite a few explosives there. We'd like to know if you'd be interested in going out and filming a video with us. He responds, that's an awesome idea. I got so many techs that would love to come out and do that with you.
Awesome.
So we get it all set up, and we go out. And I tried calling this police chief a couple of times, and he wouldn't take my call. He wouldn't return it to let him know that we were going to be there with the Northwest Ohio Bomb Squad. So we get down there, and we start unpacking our stuff. We take it out on the bridge. He whips up. He jumps out of the truck. His chest is all puffed out. He starts yelling, and I looked at him and said, oh, you got my voicemail. I didn't say it that nicely. And he's like, you're what? I said, my message. I said, we're coming. We got the Ohio Bomb Squad meeting us here. And so we completely deflated him. He, it was
good for you.
Just the way he treated us was really nice to be able to get out there with the Northwest Ohio Bomb Squad. And actually the Bomb Squad told us that we could fish that bridge without them, but just to call them if we found anything. But I didn't really want to do that. And and piss that cop off, because I can just see bad things happening.
Yeah, that happened to us when Brockton 508 and we haven't found nearly as many as you guys, but when we found one, Brockton had found one and then called all of us to go up there and fish with him, and Josh pulled up the bazooka round.
I remember that.
And we were there, the guy pretty much said to us, the cop, I don't think you guys should magnet fish here anymore. You can't. And the video I premiered tonight was from that bridge, because there's nothing, unless there's a sign or something that says it's illegal. You can't stop somebody from doing something that's not illegal.
No, but you also don't want to. You also don't want to piss them off.
No, exactly. I mean, and so I think we gave that place like a year respite before we went back. And my first toss there, I pulled out a 22. We didn't find another bomb, but I did find these like crazy big window weights that were so crusty that it scared me at first. I'm like, oh no, that's what I think it is. So I just kind of put it in the bucket for a little while I figured out what I was going to do with it, and then pulled up another one. And I'm like, oh no, I have to figure out what this is. And very carefully, I started chipping away at it. And sure enough, all that crud took the window weight down to about this size. And I was like,
I want to see some more video of Josh climbing around underneath that bridge. Trying to get your magnet back, wasn't it?
Yep. He saved my magnet that day. He's saved my magnet 3 times now.
You got to get a boat anchor, dude.
Bad luck.
You got to get a boat anchor.
Yeah, I have. That's what Brockton was saying. He was telling me about that way of like tying it off on both ends and then dropping it in the center.
I just have
about a different way.
I just have a boat anchor that I pulled out of the river. It's an 8-pound boat anchor. It's got, I put a carabiner on it. All I do is I just you loop the rope so it's almost down, so the bottom loop is almost to the water. You put the boat anchor onto the rope so it'll slide all the way to the bottom, but attach a second rope to it so if it doesn't come off the first time, you can pull the boat anchor back up. You chuck it down, and just the momentum and the weight, the kinetic energy basically of it hitting the bottom of the loop in the rope will almost always knock the magnet off, unless the magnet comes up and over something. Then you're kind of screwed. Then you got to have a Josh to get it for you.
That's how it happened.
No, I remember
the bridge. So stupid.
I lost a magnet like that in Ohio. I lost a Poseidon, the 4850 Poseidon down in Ohio, because I threw the rope, but part of the rope got caught on the bridge, and the magnet just pendulum straight up underneath the bridge. We had no way of getting to it. We tried to come along. Finally, we just hooked onto the rope with the truck and moved it, and the rope just snapped.
Yeah, that happened recently. I got, it wasn't on a bridge. It was probably stuck between 2 rocks in a river. And no matter what I did, I ended up tying it to my car. After pulling out the come along, nothing. And then the rope eventually just snapped. That magnet wasn't going anywhere.
A lot of people get really discouraged the first time they lose a magnet, and it sucks. I mean, it absolutely sucks. But anybody that wants to do this hobby or is thinking about getting into this hobby needs to remember, you're throwing it in the river.
Yeah.
It's going to get stuck. It happens. All you can do is hope that you get it back, but you have to be prepared to lose that magnet every single time you throw it. It sucks. You never want to.
Every time.
You never want to, but you have to be prepared.
Right. That's why I always bring it back up, just in case, because I don't want to have to go home. If I've spent 2 hours traveling somewhere and I lose a magnet after being there for 5 minutes, I don't want to have to turn around and go home.
I have used a backup magnet to rescue a stuck magnet more than anything else. So many times, you throw the magnet out there, it gets stuck, you're pulling it from every direction, you got the come along on it, you can tell the rope's about to break. You throw a second magnet out there and it pulls it out from underneath whatever it's stuck on. Or you get the second magnet stuck too. But
right. I'm really good at sticking one magnet. I haven't gotten 2 stuck at the same time yet.
I have, but we got them both back, but it really does. Like I've had other people snap their ropes. Like Tanner, the Michigan Magnet Man, we were down in Detroit. He got his magnet stuck. I think what it was is there was 2 concrete slabs close to each other, and I think it went underneath, and the carabiner came up between them. And so they decided to hook onto it with a truck. They snapped his rope. He had only a couple feet of rope left on it. And he was asking me if I knew anything. I actually threw his girlfriend's magnet down there instead of mine and pulled it right out. It was,
Wow. That's pure luck.
it is. But you learn a lot of tricks the more often you get stuck. Like here, it's always the seawall. You can see in my videos, I don't show 99% of the time when I get stuck to a seawall.
Yeah. I do, just because that's kind of what, at this point, what I'm known for is mishaps. So it's part of what we're doing now. So I show everyone, or not the really ridiculous ones, but the magnet gets stuck.
It happens.
It's content.
That's pretty awesome, Josh. I had a magnet get stuck in the Detroit River, and some professional diver may or may not have illegally dove in the Detroit River to get my magnet back for me.
You're not supposed to dive in the Detroit River.
It's illegal to dive or swim in the Detroit River within city limits. There is one designated beach out on Belle Isle, but if you go out too far, like 2 summers ago, a girl went out and she went just a little bit too farther than she was supposed to. She got caught by the current. Firefighter jumped in to save her. She got out. He drowned.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
the current in the Detroit River is killer, and supposedly the whole river is considered an active crime scene
Because there's so much in it. Because it moves so.
I think that was
so
how they made it illegal for people to enter the river without police permission. I think that was just how they did it. But yeah, come on, found 105 firearms myself. There's a lot of stuff in there.
105 is ridiculous. We've barely been doing this for 2 years, and I think I just broke 10.
I think it took me 2 years to break 10. But I'm being honest with you. I was using a single-sided 1,200-pound magnet
Right.
for the longest time. It was a great magnet. Don't get me wrong. Just it didn't have the pull force of the 360s.
Yeah, that's what we're using now. Anything above, I have a 3,500 one. Anything beyond that, I think would honestly be too much for me. I don't think I can handle anything beyond 3,500.
For the pull strength or for the weight of it?
The full strength. It's the magnet's 5 pounds. It's a battle magnet, but it looks the same thing as like a brute boss.
Yeah, it's got that real thick stainless steel.
Yeah.
That stuff's a killer, man. That's the only reason I don't like brute magnets. I bought brute magnets in the past, but there's so much stainless steel in them that they weigh way more than they need to. Like the Kratos I'm using just has a very thin stainless steel cover. Actually, all of them that I have are a real thin stainless steel cover. My 3,800-pound Titan weighs 4.2 pounds or something like that. And it's rated for 3,800 pounds. Your 3,500 pound is a whole pound more, right?
Yeah, something like that. Because I have a Titan also, and you can even though it's only a pound difference, you can feel the difference.
It's a lot at the end of the day. And the Poseidon I'm using is 8 pounds, and trust me, there's a huge difference between that and the Titan.
That at that point, that's just a drop-in magnet. You can't chuck that thing.
That's the one I throw. That's the one I use in all my videos.
That's crazy. That's a lot of weight to be chucking around. Your shoulders must feel like you just pitched like a 9-inning game.
It's more the lower back from pulling it out. Now, the mid back, not lower back, but like the middle of the back when you're leaning over trying to pull it up away from the seawalls.
Okay. 17 pounds.
See, I haven't seen a 17-pound magnet, but I had the 2,000-pound double-sided one from Brute that weighed over 10. That thing barely found anything, too.
That's way too much. Anything beyond this 5 pounds, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. But I like the Brute magnets. I like the cover on it. I like the Kratos ones, too. I've never had an issue with theirs. But Magnetar, I've had a magnet explode already. And I don't know what it is that they do differently, but even my second magnet from them, it blew out the cover. It blew out the whole top of it.
Was it an aluminum cover or a stainless steel cover? because the
Whatever it is that
aluminum covers
they
will
make them
wear
from.
through.
Yeah, that's probably what it was then. Because I mean, it literally like, even though you can't see a seam, it looked like it split right at the seam and just popped right out. Like you can see the magnet swelling on the inside.
Okay, because I remember my
And no other
first
company.
my first Titan had aluminum cover, and after about 4 months of using it, it actually wore the aluminum cover around enough at that corner that I pulled the magnet out, and the whole housing, the whole cover slipped off of it.
Good Lord.
But but Ben always made them, replaceable. I just ordered up a new cover, and life was great.
Right.
But since he
Yeah,
switched to the
that's what.
stainless steel covers, I haven't had to replace one.
Yeah, and his are a lot thinner. I mean, it's like probably 1/3 of the size of what the brute covers are.
Yeah, but now those brute covers will really protect the magnet in rocks and stuff. That I can see that brute boss or even the battle magnet ones being really useful when you're throwing in really shallow rocky rivers. The
Yeah.
Titans, they don't hold up when you throw them 70 feet into a wall. Trust me.
No. And we deal with a lot of rocks down here because, I'm on the Cape and everything we do over here is salt water. So all these bridges, they build them with rocks everywhere.
Yeah,
And that's why I'm stuck all the time.
we
Rocks.
got rocks all over here in some areas. We don't have salt water. I've never actually thrown a magnet in salt water. Um,
Hmm.
I'd like to do it, but man, I see the metal that comes out in your videos and Josh's videos and Brockton's videos, and I see the metal that comes out in my videos. I like my metal better. My metal comes out a
Yeah.
lot cleaner.
Cleaner.
You,
Yeah.
you guys,
It just
will get a
doesn't
little
corrode.
tiny. You guys will get a little tiny nail that's encrusted this big around.
Yeah, it will. And that was just something I found in this video here. I thought I found my first bullet, but I had to go through all this crust just to get to that tiny little bullet.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait to do freshwater. I'm gonna try to get a kayak this year. I haven't done ponds or anything like that, and I want to try doing pond magnet fishing. Um,
The
the
issue I found with ponds and water that doesn't move in general is when the weeds die, they just go down, they become muck. You end up with feet thick
hmm,
muck in areas like that. And I don't really find much. If you sit there and you put the magnet straight down and you work it up and down, that's not a great motion to be making. But anyway, you move the magnet up and down a lot, it'll bury itself into the muck, and you can get to the stuff at the bottom layers. But
right.
just throwing out and dragging back, you don't get anything. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I've just got a lot of people weird stories, like history stories about certain things that are in some of the ponds here. Supposedly, one in a town nearby, there's supposed to be a Model T that somebody had drove in there way, way, way back, and it's sitting like right in the middle of this pond. And then we have a ton of kettle ponds from when like all the glaciers and stuff came through here, that all the pilgrim settlers would settle around. So it's kind of my hope that, a lot of these, like you said though, a lot of them are very weedy. So there's
Well,
probably a lot of muck and crap built
and
up on top of them.
every year that vegetation dies, it sinks to the bottom, it becomes muck the next year, and it just keeps layering up. But it's a cool
Right.
story. If you could do like a story, if you could do some research, find approximately where it should be. I mean, you could do like a multiple part series of actually looking for that Model T, not just one video going out and throwing the magnet. My wife was talking to me today about creating stories and stuff around the video, so it's fresh in my head right now. She's way smarter
Yeah.
than I am. But I mean, you could do a multiple part
Right.
story just trying to find that Model T, and people are going to watch it whether you find it or not. Like she
Right.
said, they still haven't found anything on Oak Island, but that show is,
Yeah. I mean, me and my son are hooked on whatever it is, blind frog or whatever. That's now been 3 or 4 seasons, and they're not too far from like the Skinwalker Ranch or whatever.
okay.
But these guys literally have found nothing, minus clues that something is there, but they haven't found the something.
I had the I had the History Channel reach out to me a couple of years ago, and it was actually a company that was trying to put together something for the History Channel,
Right.
and they were looking at magnet fishing, so they contacted me. They contacted Bryce from Outdoors Weekly, but they asked me like, well, we're looking to try to do something like the Curse of Oak Island. Can you do that? And I was just like, no.
Oh,
She's
right.
like, well, we could go out, you could magnet fish the Great Lakes. And I said to her, I said, you do realize how deep the Great Lakes are, right? And the fact that it's illegal to remove artifacts from the Great Lakes. Like if they're over
Right.
100 years old, it's illegal to take them out of the water. We could find shipwrecks, but we're not allowed to throw our magnets there. And I don't want to pull my magnet up 160 feet every single throw.
No.
So
No,
I
you
didn't
can
get the
throw it 4
show.
or 5 times.
I didn't get the show, but it would have been cool.
That would have been cool. I'd watched it. Yeah, we have areas like that here. I'm not super big into metal detecting. I've done it a couple times, but we have a lot of national seashore area here, and it's pretty much like the whole outer Cape region, and you can't metal detect anywhere on there. None of those beaches, nothing.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the settlers were. It's a kind of a bummer that you can't, because I know there's so much stuff there.
You can thank
No,
archaeologists for that. They get upset when anybody else finds something.
well, yeah, you can thank what's his name there, the guy that found the Widow here, Barry Clifford. He's a local guy here, and he found, from what they say, like the first full intact pirate ship just off the Cape, and he's got millions and millions and millions of gold bullion that he's pulled off the ship, and all he did was he created a museum, and it has basically influenced the national seashore to stop everybody else from checking those areas.
Yep. Yep. Government don't like you getting stuff before they do.
Right.
It's actually illegal to remove anything more than 100 years old from the Detroit River, also. But nobody cares. You know,
Right.
the Department of Natural Resources told me, if you find anything of historical significance, it goes to us. You find any guns, it goes to the police. Anything else, it's yours.
Yeah, which basically means like you get to take home all the junk.
Yeah. Yep. I get all the nails, bottle caps, and whippets I want.
I didn't know until we got back home, but my son's a big history buff, so for his 16th birthday, I took him to on a trip to DC. And when we were there, we fished the Potomac, and I didn't realize that I wasn't supposed to, but I ended up finding like a bunch of square nails while we were there, which is really, really cool because I know, you know, generally square nails are historical anyways, but to find them in DC was pretty cool.
Absolutely. They
Yeah,
probably came from the wooden bridge that was in the location where you were before the new bridge.
probably was because there's a railroad bridge right there and a regular highway bridge. So there's 2 bridges currently. So yeah, I'm sure there was something
Now,
there, and it actually wasn't too far from where that plane crash was either.
do you ever use the website historicaerials.com or
No,
.net? So
no.
check it out when you get a chance. It's historicaerials.net. Um,
Yeah,
actually, can you share your screen?
yeah, I can. Let's see.
So I'll give you a real quick tutorial on how to use it. It's awesome.
Historic aerial.com.
I think it might be .com now. I know it used to be .net.
Okay, there we go. I think we're on the right one by net something online. Okay. Let me go here to share screen.
So yeah, historicaerials.com is what it is.
Yep. And plot that here. There we go.
All right, so it pops up. You see the green bar that says "Welcome to Historic Aerials."
Let's see. It just says like enter a search or something. Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah, that green bar right there that says "Welcome to Historic
Yep.
Aerials." Right underneath that, click the yellow box that says "See" or "View Images."
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
All right. Now, in that bar right there that you're looking at,
Yeah.
the top left-hand corner, type in your city name or an area that you magnet fish, whatever.
Well, we'll type it in here just because this is generally pretty historical. It pops it up pretty quick. Am I there? Yeah, I am there. Okay.
Okay. Now move over to do you have a river or something there? Or all right.
Let me
So
find one. I'm gonna zoom out till we get to a river, cause
you can't zoom out that
we're
far
just
on
gonna.
it.
No, I'm just gonna find a river and then we'll zoom into it.
Okay.
This is one that I go to a lot. This is Bass
Okay.
River Bridge, which is one of the main bridges.
Cool. All right. So on the
What
left-hand
happened?
side,
I
on the
just lost it.
left-hand side, you see where it says aerials at the top?
Yeah, let me just get back to that bridge. I fat
Oh,
fingered something. Circuit Road, wrong way. I'll back over here. Oh, we're not even in the same town anymore. There we go. That's our area. Click here, and then you say go to aerials.
yep. Now click the newest one,
Right. So the
the
newest
one at
one
the
is
very top.
2021.
Yep. Click on that.
Yeah,
All
it's
right. So
coming.
that's going to come up. That's going to show you an aerial photograph from 2021. Now you can go
Right.
all through that list and everything. It's great, but this is where it gets really cool. Go to where it says compare. The
Yeah.
third one up from the bottom. Click on that.
Okay.
All right. Now you should get a on the right hand, or sorry, click the little flashlight icon.
Okay. There we go.
And then on the right hand side, a menu just popped up that says aerials, topos, atlases.
Yeah.
Click on aerials and go
And then
down
choose the old
to,
one.
yeah, now go to down to like 57, 55, something like that. They had really good historic or really good aerial photographs back then.
We'll go to 71. That's not quite old,
No, no,
old,
no,
but
no. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, and then now
right.
you can go over it and you can see exactly how everything has changed since 1971 to the most
Holy
recent
moly.
one. You
That
can
is
see,
amazing, dude.
isn't that awesome?
Yeah. I mean,
I
'cause the
use
bridge is
that
still there.
a lot of places.
Wow.
You'll see the bridge, but you'll see that it's smaller. It's a different bridge. It's been rebuilt since then. They did a lot of it in the like 57 in Detroit, the Detroit area, and the 57 photographs are better than like the 2021 photographs.
Holy crap. I'm gonna have to, dude, you just opened up a whole new world.
I use it whenever I'm looking at an area to see where buildings were, to see where bridges were. You can see footpaths on a lot of them. You can zoom in and out. There's
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
I think it's 1950, I think it's 57 in Detroit. You can go down on the Detroit River and actually see a submarine docked on the river.
Wow. So let's see here. This has me curious because I've actually gone to, um, I don't know if that's where it is. I'll have to look this up later. But we have this place called the Barnstable Brick Builders Company or whatever. Um, and we've gone out there with my kids and stuff like that just to try to find this old building that had like they stopped doing anything there in like 1920. And we were told that you can see some ruins. So we walked along these railroad tracks and we were told after about 10 minutes, pay attention to it and you'll see a game trail. And sure enough, we found it, but we didn't find all of it. And so using that's going to be friggin' amazing.
As long as it was there when the aerial photographs were taken and it wasn't overgrown too much. If it was completely overgrown with trees, you're not going to see through the trees on the aerial photographs. But I
Yeah,
mean, I
this
found
shouldn't be.
I found places along the Detroit River that were marinas back in the 1950s, and then you start researching the marina, and it was there in the 30s. It was there during Prohibition. So it's just another tool to
Just
help
like
you
walk
figure
out,
out. Huh?
dude. So when you find like those old, you might even be able to find like old bridges that existed that aren't there anymore.
Oh yeah, I found a few of them. Like there's one in Lansing that was a bridge up until I think it was like 78 or something like that.
Hmm.
So that's an area that, I marked because now I found where there used to be a bridge. Now, the downside of that is, I could get out there in a kayak or a boat or something and find out that the bridge is actually in the water and get stuck
Oh
on it.
yeah, now you're catching the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, now, or chunks of concrete that were on the bridge or whatever. So that's just one of those cool tools that it doesn't give you the full story, but it definitely helps when you're researching an area. You want to see what the area used to be like. And if it's an area and certain buildings, you can see what was there before them. There's a lot of places where I thought, oh, this is going to be a great spot. I look at it, and it was a vacant lot up until like the 90s, but I
Right.
wouldn't know that.
That's awesome. I appreciate that tip. That's going to be a game changer here because I've started to, back in the day, right now, Cape Cod, as I'm sure you know, there's a canal, and it was a man-made canal that was built there, the blender going, in the 1930s and 1940s, and maybe even before that. But way, way, way back when the colonialists were here, there was one in Cape Cod Bay in this town called Orleans. And nowadays they just call it something called Jeremiah's Gutter. And there's barely any water left. But looking at that map, I'll know exactly where to go where there still is some water.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it didn't look like your aerial photographs around you went back as far as they do here. So that's the only limitation is when they started taking the aerial photographs. In around Detroit, I think the oldest ones I've seen were 1951.
Okay.
So, but it's still
on one of those was 38. So 38 is pretty far back.
38. I haven't seen one from 38. Oh man, I want you to send me some pictures of that. I want to see what the aerial photographs looked like back then.
Definitely will. I'll check into it. But I really greatly appreciate you coming in, Jason. I don't want to step on Shane's toes too much longer. He's on and live, and have mutual respect for these guys, so I try not to, jump on them or whatever. But that
well, thank you
site
for
right
having
there,
me,
dude. You opened up a whole new world,
dude. You can get lost in that website for hours.
As
So
soon as
what
this
I'll
is
do
over.
is I'll have a tab open. I'll have Google Maps open on one tab, and I'll have that historic aerials open on another tab, and I'll follow along on both of them. I'll flip back and forth, and I'll follow along like rivers and stuff and places I see I want. I'll actually put a pin drop on the Google map so I can go back, so I can actually go there. So it's fun. The research can be part of the fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a great night.
I do want to reach out offline too. I may try to come out your way. Probably come springtime. I'm doing a bunch of like mini vacations where I'm going to kind of like go out to different places and magnet fish and stuff. Just take like 4 days each time, stack them around a weekend. I'd love to come out there and you guys get so much stuff. So
that'd be cool. Unfortunately, it's just me now.
That's it.
So, but yeah,
that happened to me too. We started off with the kids, and now I'm the only one going out because no one wants to go play in the ice.
Our channel was originally Avery and Dad Adventures, and it switched over to Motor City Magnet Fishers after a while. She told me I had to have the S on there so she could come along when she wanted to. I don't think she's been out more than once since then, but I did have Randy with me. He hurt himself. He doesn't look like he's coming back, so.
Well, that's a bummer.
It happens.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm going to take off. I greatly appreciate you popping in, man. Awesome chatting with you.
Have a great night.
You too, man. We'll talk to you.
Bye.